Hi, Luke Edwards from Korg here. I'm here with GAK showing the new KingKorg. This is our brand new analog modelling synth, just launched this year in January, so let's take a listen. Okay, so this is the KingKorg from Korg and brand new analog modelling synth. In here we've got lots of different filters, so we can model all the classic instruments. KingKorg has its own filter, but we also have Moog filter, or Moog, Prophet 5, Oberheim, our own MS-20, TB303 from Roland, and then we also have high pass and also band pass versions of all of those as well. Lots of different waveforms to choose from, single waveforms, duals and unisons, as well as different types of synthesis, DWGS waveforms from our DW8000, and also PCM or sample-based waveforms as well. And you've got a mic input at the back here, so you can connect a mic and use it as a vocoder. Over this side, we've got our effects. So we've got 3 blocks. We've got reverbs and delays, mod effects, so things like tremolo, chorus, flanger and so on, and then we've got more kind of dramatic effects, things like distortions, decimators and guitar amp models. And these effects are great because you can easily just turn them on and off by pressing the dials there, and then these are the parameters. Further over to the left you've got a global EQ, which I've got flat at the moment, and then you've got this analog tube as well, which is great, so you can just use it at a low level to warm up the sound, or you can really drive it, and you also have a boost as well. Connection wise it's great. Yeah, you've got MIDI, of course, USB for connection to a computer, but you've also got CV and gate, so you can connect to pretty much any equipment out there, whether it's analog or digital, and so yeah, that's a really nice addition. So let's have a listen to a few of the different sounds. So first of all, I'll take you through a few of the filters. First of all, KingKorg's own filter. A characteristic of the KingKorg is the smoothness of its filters. So for instance here we're modelling a Moog filter, but listen to the way when you change the filter, how it just glides through the sound. You've also got other filters in here, the Prophet 5 for example that I mentioned, a kind of slightly brighter, more fizzy sort of filter. And of course the classic Oberheim as well from the 80s, the OBX. We've also got our very own MS-20, which was just reissued this year in January in mini form, the MS-20 Mini, and we also can model that filter here very accurately. And of course, Roland's TB303 as well for that kind of acid house. We call it an acid filter in here. We've got all your regular synth parameters here, and everything is hands-on, which makes it great. So you've got your LFOs, you've got your envelopes. So for instance, LFO-wise, if you've got a nice smooth pad like this, to add some motion to the sound, you can set the destination, filter or pitch. It's set to filter at the moment. This is the frequency. So how quickly it's moving. This is the intensity. So you can have something pulsing like that or something just slowly evolving. I'm using my favourites here actually to go through the different sounds. There's two ways to select your sounds. You can either press program and then just go through categories. So I wanted a bass sound, I go through bass and then I can use the wheel to go through. Or I can save my favourite sounds to these favourite buttons and then the categories become favourites. And I've got 5 banks of those, so 40 favourites, 5 times 8. So I'm going to go into my second bank now, bank B, and show you some of the effects. So I've got one of these presets here, which has some nice reverb delay on it. What's nice is that you can turn on and off these effects really quickly, so if I want to get rid of that delay, just do that. And then I've got rid of it. So if you need to do some recording dry, for instance, you can just turn off all your effects and then you're ready to go. If, for instance, I want to patch in a different effect, I just go to the effect I want to use. In this case, I'm going to put some distortion on my pre-effects. So I'm going to dial that round to distortion. And then the knobs underneath are parameters, so in this case, it's drive. And of course you've got your full analog valve at the end here. So we can turn it on and off and the light signifies whether it's on and off or not. And then I can drive it and the light gets brighter. So the light obviously signifies that, but it is a full analog valve. And I can also boost it as well to give that really gritty, grainy, overdriven sound. And the valve actually does make a tremendous difference to the song, to the sound. So if I turn it off and on, so it really enhances the whole instrument. As well as your LFOs I showed you, you've also got envelopes. So that's what EG stands for, envelope generator, attack, decay, sustain and release of the sound. That can be sent to either the amp or the filter in this case, so I can have changes to filter over time. I can change the attack there to change how quickly that filter opens. Immediately, quite quickly, or slower. So again, with these hands-on controls, it makes it very easy to sculpt your sound very quickly. Each sound is made up of 3 oscillators. The oscillator are here, and then you can choose your waveforms by this screen. But you also have 2 what we call timbres. So each timbre, A and B, has 3 oscillators. So in total, you can actually have 6 sounds, if you like, stacked together. So it becomes very powerful. And the good thing is, you can have these timbres stacked, or you can press split and have a split keyboard. So here we've got them stacked, and when I bring in the second one using the mod wheel, you'll hear it coming in. Or if I pull the joystick back, this assignable controller will let me do other stuff, like for instance here it's going to filter it, it's also going to add a load of reverb. So this joystick has a programmable matrix which you can do what you want with, but all of the presets are pre-assigned, which is quite nice, so you can just go in and explore what they're doing. You can also use these timbres in different ways, so for instance I can split the keyboard in 2. Have a pad, and then a lead. And of course, you've got your Arpeggiator built in as well, so you can make patterns. You can even use the Arpeggiator in different ways. So if you've got two Timbres, you can actually assign the Arpeggiator to one or the other or both. So in this case, we've only got it assigned to the upper part. Whereas the lower part is not assigned, so I can do this sort of stuff. Move on to my next bank. You've also got a step arpeggiator, which means that by going shift arpeggio, we can go into the menu and see all the different steps. So at the moment, this is playing all steps. But I can go into the display here and say, okay, let's take out a couple of steps. Let's take out step 3 and step 5, and it gives you more of a syncopated effect. As well as these great synth sounds, you've also got, as I mentioned earlier, some sample-based or PCM sounds. So things like pianos, strings, organs, choirs, all your kind of bread and butter keyboard sounds that you need. So you can actually use it as a one-stop shop for gigging as well, should you want to. So some nice pianos. And our very famous classic M1 organ. And also some great mellotron samples as well, strings and also flutes, like this. So that's the KingKorg, brand new analog modelling synth, modelling lots of classic filters. We've got the valve here as well, which we can use at a low level or boost, and nice clear displays, one for the main sounds, one for the waveforms, one for the filters, and connectivity wise, fantastic as well. USB, MIDI, and also CV and gate, of course, to connect to some of our analog equipment or some retro gear. So go and enjoy.